All right, ladies and gentlemen, this stream has been a long time coming, and I am happy to say that I cannot wait to get started. Let's go ahead and begin, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome to the beginning of my Hunter x Hunter series being added to this channel. Just welcome to the entire read-through series. See, I didn't think I was going to be getting started on this story as soon as I have, simply because I thought Kaiju number 8 was going to go on longer. Lo and behold, when I had fully caught up to the series, I come to find out that it only had 3 chapters left in it. So now I'm thinking, okay, Kaiju 8 is about to end right after I fully caught up to it, so now what's the next series that I can do? And this is a series that I have promised that I would add to my channel but never got around to actually doing it, simply because there was just so many things that was going on that would have conflicted with me doing Hunter x Hunter for all of you, that I simply couldn't do it in a way that wouldn't overtax me, because I've done a lot. I have done a lot both this year and last year, and I wanted to make sure that I properly paced myself without me, overburdening myself with story after story after story after story, cover games, story after story after story after story, do some reaction streams, all this. I wanted to make sure that I was good to go. AJ and Ogata, it's good to see you both. But now, there's literally no excuse why I can't do it. Never knew you read this series? I didn't. This is literally going to be the first time that I read Hunter x Hunter on this channel, and therefore adding the series to the channel. So you are here watching a brand new read-through series begin. Now, yo, Ghost, it is good to see you. Every single person who's joining in here today, thank you. This is such a wonderful Thursday already. But for those who know, whenever I cover a series, I tend to do it volume per volume. And there are quite a few volumes of Hunter x Hunter. I think it's like in the 30s, maybe even in the 40s, because the chapters are all the way up to 410. But I'm going to be covering volume to volume. Now, I am not since chapter 1, this is literally going to be the first time that I actually read Hunter x Hunter. So I've watched the anime, but it's been so long since I've seen the anime. It's been so long since I've seen the anime. Got me some water. It's been so long since I've seen the anime that all of this is going to be, why not read the manga while showing it? Like I said the last time you asked this, I don't show images because they're copyrighted, and that can get me in serious trouble. Last time I got in trouble with just even having a manhwa specifically, because manga tends to be a lot more lenient with their logos being displayed in, thumbnails and everything. I showed the thumbnail of Solo Leveling when I was going through its special episodes after the original series ended its run, and I got a copyright strike on the channel. Just from the thumbnail. I never show images simply because of that. It's too much of a risk, and nor will I ever show images on this channel. I've already addressed this. I've already addressed this because you asked this when I was reading the last manga that I was going through. It was either One Piece or it was either Sakamoto Days, but you asked that last time, and I'm gonna give you the same answer. I don't show images because it's too much of a risk. Do you like to read because you're gonna love this because this one is just too much to read for most people? I mean, have you not seen all of the series that I have covered on the channel? Have you not seen all the read-throughs I have done on this channel? It's fair to say that I like to read. Going in blind, haven't read it or seen it. Yo, D-Train, it's good to see you. But yeah, we got done with Kaiju number 8, and now it's time for Hunter x Hunter because there's plenty of room to do it. Now, it's not like I'm not going to do it the same way I did with Solo Leveling, where I did it one every other. Hey Kyushu, why don't you have the pages on screen as you read? Refer to my answer to AJ earlier on. But I'm not going to do it like I've done the Solo Leveling novel, where I do it once every other Thursday. This will be every Thursday. This will be every Thursday that I go to it. If you guys want to see what I'm reading, just look up Hunter x Hunter Chapter 1 and follow along with me. The translations may be different, but know that I'm reading the official translation. I'm not showing images. I'm not. Don't ask. Don't ask. Anyone else says it, I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to bother addressing it because everyone else, let everyone else know. I'm not putting my channel at risk just trying to show images so everyone can see what I'm seeing. But look up Hunter x Hunter Chapter 1 anywhere else and follow along. But yeah, let's get started with Chapter 1. That's me clearing my throat because you know I'm a professional and all. Chapter 1. And, well, we don't even get a Chapter 1. It just says, strange beasts and monsters, secret treasure hoards, undiscovered wealth, mystical places, unexplored frontiers, the mysterious unknown. There's magic in such words for those captivated by its spell. Chapter 1, The Day of Departure. They are called Hunters. And we get our main character, and another character that everybody loves. And then we cut to an island that looks like it's a whale. Hold on. Let me change something. Real quick. Because I won't have mid-roll stuff happening. On the live, but I'll probably turn it back on once it is all over. So that way nothing else gets interrupted. All right? But here we have an island that looks like a whale, Whale Island. And we have all these creatures in a forest. We got this, I don't even want to say frog because it has a tail, and we got this big old monkey in the background. We got these swamps with all these creatures outside. And we have someone sitting up in a tree. It's a DreamWorks kid. It's a DreamWorks Moon logo kid. And he's just sitting there fishing. And then his line gets pulled. And then it goes underwater. And then he starts pulling on it. And then something big is in the water pulling him while he's up in this tree. Trust me, they're all tame in terms of reading. Sometimes it feels like a chore to read, but trust me, if you love story, good characters, and an excellent power system, you will love it. I already knew what I was walking into because people told me that these chapters tend to be long sometimes. Where I'm reading from is from the official place from Viz, and Chapter 1 has up to 38 pages on it. So I know it's going to be a bit of a read. But something pulls on his line as he goes, "Ah, it's him! Easy, easy." Ha! Gotcha! And it's this big, giant fish that also happens to have crab legs coming out of it. And this kid is carrying this giant fish with crab legs, like multiple crab legs. It's kind of freaky, but I also am kind of curious about how the meat tastes. But he's carrying it, and he just plops it up on the floor, plops it up on the ground in front of all the townspeople going, "Ta-da! Well," and then everyone is murmuring. The old master of the swamp. 5 grown men pulling together. Oh wait, this is a person speaking while the kid is in front of it going, "The old master of the swamp. 5 grown men pulling together couldn't land him. I didn't think I'd see anyone accomplish such a feat for years yet. Some kid, that one." "See, I got him. Just like I said I would. Time to keep your end of the deal on, Mito." And it's a hunter exam application card. And Aunt Mito, I guess, is the lady that was the first person we saw with her hands kind of like this. She's looking at it and she's not saying anything. And then the men in the background are going, "Go ahead, Mito, it's just an exam. Gone's got the stuff to make a swell hunter. Gone! That's his name." "Easy for you to say." And then these same men is all like, "Forget I said anything." "Yeah, it's pretty easy to say. It's easy to say stuff, but meaning what you say, that's something else. Right on, Mito?" And Mito doesn't say anything. Right? And then she hits something on this touchpad, and then it beeps. Or she did something to his hunter card, his exam card. And then we cut to Mito and Gon at their house as she goes,
As you like, Gon.
Okay, thanks! And then Gon just takes off. He puts on like a little visor over his head and he just takes off. But then Mito puts her hands up to her eyes. And then we zoom in on a picture of some guy in front of a motorcycle with a big old turban over his head.
Blood will tell. Why this? Why him? I've never said a word to Gon about his father being a hunter, and he's never asked. So why? Why is he?
It was no deep, dark secret, Mito. In the end, it hardly matters why. All along, I expected this day would come. One look at the gleam in his eyes, and you know he will not be stopped. His choice has been made.
And then it cuts back to Gon, going,
You kept it quiet, Aunt Mito, but I found out about my dad anyway, a long time ago.
And it shows Gon going to his mailbox? Yeah, going to his mailbox. It's a weird-looking mailbox. And then he starts hopping and skipping across through the forest, and he goes up to like this little riverbed, and he whistles. And then something rustles out of the bushes, and it's this big furry creature. And it looks like I don't even know what to call it. It's got the face of a feline, but the body of a bear and the tail of a lion. I don't even know what this thing is. And he gets knocked into the water with this creature. And because he got wet, Gon hangs up his clothes to dry while he's sitting with this creature that's eaten like a whole big giant fish. Yo, Ravi! It's finally time. The story that I had promised you so long ago. It has finally begun. The ship has sailed. There are no brakes on this thing. We continue until we catch up until the entire series, up to the maximum series. This one, Ravi, specifically, is for you. I know you've been patient. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for all the support. But this one is specifically for you because I know how much you, specifically out of everyone on my channel, has been looking forward to this. So this whole first session, dedicated to you, my friend. But Gon is fishing again while the other creature is eating a big old fish. And then Gon is looking at this little badge that's on his hand. In his hand. And Gon thinks back to, I guess, when he encountered this creature the first time 3 years ago. And it's this big old it's this big creature. And it's making his way towards Gon. And then it shows a small little creature behind this big hulking bear cat dog creature thing. And then when it goes to try and slash at Gon, someone with long hair and a long blade steps in and actually stops it from killing Gon. Oh, it's a fox bear! Because this person says, a fox bear with cub. Rotten shame, but no beast who tries to kill a human can be left to live. And this man unsheaths his sword. Now, mind you, this dude's got a big old newsboy's cap. He's got very long hair that's covering his eyes, so it kind of looks like this. And in one swift stroke, he cuts off the head of this fox bear. But no beast who tries to kill a human can be left to live. And then he sheaths his sword after the beheading. Can you stand up?
Yeah.
And then this dude punches Gon in the face, sending him flying a little bit. Moron! Imbecile! Don't you know better than to wander around a snake beach forest this time of year? Look there! The territorial mark of a fox bear when she's with cub. They're everywhere! The very flies know this sign and will clear out of the area until the whelping season is past. Didn't your father bother to teach you anything? Dang, the speckled squirrel gave a warning call. I came and now I've got this pointless kill to my credit.
My dad is gone. My mom, too. It was some kind of accident just after I was born, so I live with my aunt.
That's tough, kid. Here, some antiseptic. Use it. And then it cuts to this man walking over to the little fox bear cub. And the fox bear cub is, angry and trying to look threatening towards Gon and the other guy.
What you gonna do with the cub?
Put it down. Because the dude's already got his sword out. He's ready to kill this particular fox bear cub. And that catches Gon by surprise. It hasn't been weaned, so it's that or let it starve to death. If by some chance it survives, it may well bear a grudge against humans for the murder of its mother. And then Gon hops from where he is, and he grabs the fox bear cub instantly.
I'll take care of it.
No use, kid. Fox bears are wild to the core. And in perfect fashion, this fox bear cub is tearing into Gon's body, despite the fact that Gon is, trying to protect it and hold it tightly, genuinely. Fox bear cub here is just clawing at his body, going. This will be my way of illustrating what's happening. That's the reason why you see my face. But Gon is just looking at this guy with tears in his eyes, completely ignoring the fact that he's being slightly mauled by this little cub. And then the guy's taken aback by his eyes. Hey, kid, by any chance, do you know, was your father named Ging?
You know my dad, sir?
Sir? Your dad's why I'm here. I've come to his birthplace looking for leads, and I guess I've just found one. I'm Kite, a hunter, for what's that worth? Have a seat. And he sits down next to Gon. Ging is my teacher. Because I'm not going to call him Jing. I'm just going to call him Ging. G-I-N-G. Because I feel like Jing would be too American to say. Too regular to say. So I'm just going to call him Ging. Ging is my teacher. And then it shows the sun setting. And it shows the fox bear cub watching Kite and Gon. He's drilled me in the basics of the hunt, and to win his stamp of approval, I must pass a final test. Find him. I've never faced such a challenging hunt. He's the best, kid. Oh, wait. Is this Gon saying he's drilled me in the basics of the hunt, and to win his stamp of approval, I must pass a final exam. Find him. Okay. So this is Gon saying this. Sorry, I had to correct myself.
He's drilled in me the basics of the hunt, and to win his stamp of approval, I must pass the final test. Find him. I've never faced such a challenging hunt.
He's the best, kid. There's no other hunter like him. If I hadn't met him, I would have died long ago, like a dog in some pestilent alleyway. Like a dog in some pestilent alley. And then it just shows Gon and Kite talking to each other. Broad said, Ging, what you want me to say? 1 volume weekly? Yes. So you saw the anime of Hunter x Hunter? When was that? Years ago. I didn't do a reaction to it. This was me just personally watching Hunter x Hunter from beginning to where the anime left off. But that was years ago. I really barely remember anything about watching it, which is why reading through the manga is so much better for me. But yeah, what do you expect me to say? You want me to say Jing? You want me to say Jing? I'm just going to say Ging. G-I-N-G. Not G-E-E-I-N-G, because no one says that. But, yeah, you know what? You know. Ain't it gain? Ain't it gain? I don't know. I'm just going off of what the volume actually says on Viz. It just says G-I-N-G. So I'm just going to say Ging. If it's pronounced otherwise, then hey, I'll say it then. But until then. But Kite and Gon are talking. Stop interrupting me! Stop interrupting! But Gon and Kite are talking, and then the fox bear cub just walks up to Gon. Ging's alive, kid. That's not what your aunt told you, and I understand her reasons. She's afraid for you, and wants to protect you. But blood tells, kid, and yours speaks volumes. All good hunters get along well with animals. And it shows this fox bear cub getting close to Gon and actually enjoying his company. It's like Jin Jing. All right. Okay, so let's just go ahead and squash this right now. The correct pronunciation. Because I don't want to flip-flop at all. I don't want to flip-flop. Okay. What is the correct way to pronounce this? Because I'm going to listen to the Japanese pronunciation of it. So they're calling him Jin, as in a Jin. Jin. Yeah, Jin. So I don't pronounce the G. So it is Jin. It is Jin. Like saying Sung Jinu, but okay. I had to make sure before I get done with the first chapter. I had to make sure, okay? I had to be sure. Because I don't want to mispronounce it anymore. So it's Gene. Gene. His name is Gene. Gon and Gene. All right, we're good. I can move on now. But yeah, his name is Gene. Gene's alive, kid. That's not what your aunt told you, and I understand her reasons. She's afraid for you and wants to protect you. But blood tells, kid, and yours speaks volumes. All good hunters get along well with animals. And then the fox bear cub just goes right up to Gon and just, you know, starts being friendly towards him. But it also shows that little card that Gon was holding back in the present day. And then we cut back to the present day with Gon, and he's there with the fox bear, now fully grown, as he goes,
Now then, Kon, this is it.
oh, so Gon named the fox bear Kon. Kon and Gon. I'm gonna leave that alone. Ah.
Kon, this is it.
And then Kon doesn't say anything because it's an animal.
You see, I'm gonna be a hunter. Hunters sometimes have to do things that the animals of the forest don't like, maybe even hate. So an animal who's friends with a hunter can't be king of the forest. You are king of the forest, Kon, and I don't want that to change. You get what I'm saying?
And then Kon just looks at Gon and then walks away. But then, while Gon is watching him walk away, he also sees all the other creatures of the forest walk up to Gon as if they're bidding him farewell.
Bye, Kon! You rule, you hear?
And then he just takes off while the animals are actually saying goodbye. Understandable, but it's also great to just read the manga because they do censor and cut out some things in the anime. Mihai, hello! It's good to see you. Yet another member has joined into the fold. Welcome. We are on chapter 1 of Hunter x Hunter. Don't worry, this probably won't be as long of a session as it was with solo leveling, but I'm interrupting. Let's keep going. Gon is just bidding farewell to the animals and he's going full tilt, and then we get back to the village. And then Gon gets back home to his Aunt Mito.
When do you leave? First of next week. I see. So, all along you knew your father's trade. Yeah. Did you also know he left you with me when you were still a baby? Will you still...
And she doesn't finish, and then Gon's just looking, and she's, you know, kind of struggling to hold the cup that she's drinking from.
Being a hunter must be an important job. So important that family comes second.
And then Mito swings her head around like, huh? And then Gon is smiling, going,
Being a hunter? isn't for weaklings, Aunt Mito. Gon. It's true! You are his son after all!
And she, loudly gets up from her chair, pretty much almost knocking it down. And then the door slams while Gon goes to clean up after her. And apparently she's been drinking.
I'm sorry, Aunt Mito. But like you said, I am his son. Jean's son. I must pass a final test. Find Jean. I've never had such a challenging hunt. There's no other hunter like him. So it's about time I meet him.
And then Gon gets all of his stuff, fishing rod, backpack, and it cuts to him preparing to leave. And then everyone in the village is, crowding around Gon, bidding him farewell.
A parting gift, Gon.
Hey, thanks!
You take care of yourself. And then one of the villagers goes, look. And it shows Mito, who's out on the distance away from everyone else, giving that Shmi Skywalker, goodbye, Anakin, I will miss you. And Gon just goes,
Aunt Mito! Thanks for everything. Gon, I'm sorry. I lied to you. Again. Jean didn't abandon you. I made him give you up. Yeah, I kind of figured that. Whenever you lie, you never look me in the eye.
And then Mito hugs on Gon.
Bye, Aunt Mito!
Because Gon is on a ship now.
You watch! I'll come back as a great hunter!
And Mito's on the dock waving goodbye to Gon. As Whale Island gets farther and farther and farther and farther away. And then we have someone on the ship going, great hunter, he says. Thinks he's got it in the bag.
There's a dozen aspiring hunters right here, kid.
There's a tiny fraction of that number that apply for the yearly exam, and only a handful of those are accepted.
Even if you are, there's every chance that the exam is the last thing you'll ever attempt in your life. Don't go getting cocky, kid.
And then it shows a lot of serious, a lot of burly, a lot of rough and tumble looking dudes on this ship. Scars on their face, nose and foreheads out to here like they're a Neanderthal. One just gracing his finger across his knife like some sort of psycho. And Gon doesn't say anything. So begins Gon's journey to find his father and, like him, become a hunter. It's going to be rough, the captain mutters, and the words linger in Gon's mind. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of Chapter 1. There are 8 chapters in this volume. Let's keep it going. On to Chapter 2. An Encounter in the Storm. I love the fact that it's been a while since I've read chapters that don't have names attached to them. So I like it when they include a name to every single chapter. Whew! Chapter 2, An Encounter in the Storm. Follow along with me if you have, the manga available to you. Like I said, I ain't showing y'all jack because I ain't about to lose my channel for copyrighted stuff. Hunters. People devoted to tracking down rare and priceless items, be they treasures or monsters, or wonders unknown. Such pursuits require a license, obtained only after passing a rigorous qualification exam. The pass rate is said to be less than 1 in 100,000. And it shows all these different people, fulfilling the role of being a hunter. Kind of makes me want to play Monster Hunter after this. But then it cuts to the sea, and there's a massive storm, and people are being tossed all around because the sea is just that rough. Captain, hole in the hull, we're taking water! Plug it with the butts of a few of them worthless passengers. And then it shows with this massive wave getting close to the ship. Hard to port! We're taking a quick flight! And the captain spins the ship, and it launches into the air, off of a wave, and it causes everyone in the ship to just get tossed and turned like they're just loose cargo. And then it cuts to a sunny day after the storm, and the captain's out smoking. A fair toss-up that was. It'll do, Captain. How's the supercargo? Coping about as usual. Laid out flat, most of them. And it shows everyone who had a hard time in this storm. They are all over the place. Some of them are under luggage and under barrels. Some of them are literally strewn across the rafters. A lot of them look seasick. Some of them may have threw up. It looks like some of them threw up. Pitiful dregs, this lot. And they're out to become hunters? What a laugh. And then, out of everyone, the only person who is actively up and moving is Gon. Because he's going around helping everybody out.
Here's some water, and chew this herb. You'll feel better.
Thanks. And this is the same guy. Who said, Gon, you shouldn't get too cocky of yourself, kid. He's the one being tended to by Gon. And while he's moving around, we get some other people who look like they're perfectly fine. One guy looks like he's in a hammock. He's got like a big jacket and a big collar over his face. And while he's moving around, we got another guy in what looks to be a suit with glasses on and long sideburns. Some iron in those three, I see. Because all three of these individuals, Gon, the guy in the hammock, and the guy reading the book with the glasses, they're the only ones fine while everyone else is seasick. But then it cuts back to the ship, and it cuts to some seagulls with very long necks. I call them seagulls with parentheses. They're flying around the sea. Take it easy a couple of hours, lads. Gonna be real busy soon. And it cuts to Gon, who's just looking out at the front of the ship. What's up, kid? Sea legs fluttering?
The big storm's coming, isn't it?
How'd you figure?
The wind's tepid and salty, and the sea cranes.
Sea cranes! Look at me. I'd be wondering what these creatures are, and the story tells me what they are. I really should shut up before I start saying, like, it's this and it's that. How'd you figure?
The wind's tepid and salty, and the sea cranes are calling out warnings.
You can bird talk, kid?
A little bit.
Wow, all of a sudden Gon's voice dropped.
A little bit.
Well, seems we... And the way Gon is looking, the captain sees someone, like the shadow of a person behind Gon, that looks eerily similar to him. Huh? Hey, kid, you embarked at Whale Island, right?
Yeah.
What's your dad's trade?
He's a hunter. I've never met him, but I hear he's the best.
I see. The day has finally come. So, can you tell me the storm size and when we'll hit it?
It's twice as big and violent as the last one. At our current speed, we'll be in it in, say, 3 hours.
Right bout, and not right bout. Bout right, and not some landlubber's lucky guess either. Come on, I'll show you how to steer a ship.
Wow!
And then the captain invites Gon into the main room. A change in the coastal winds might tighten your time frame up a trifle. Good a time as any to start learning the workings of a ship. To be a first-rate hunter, you're obliged to know how to handle most anything. Attention! There's another storm ahead, and it's a doozy. We have spare lifeboats. Anyone who's already had his fill can use them to try and reach the closest island. Because everyone who already had a hard time after the last time a storm hit, they are screaming, "No more!" Ah! They're all screaming like, "No!" And there are already people in lifeboats. There's already people who just dipped. Well, actually, we're out of here! Enough! And then it cuts to the ship continuing on without them. Because the only people who are left on this ship... So, it's down to you three, eh? Give me your names. It's down to just the same 3 people who were the only ones okay after the storm. The guy with the glasses, the guy with the high-collared shirt, and Gon.
The name's Leorio. Call me Kurapika. I'm Gon.
And you want to be hunters? Why?
Hey, what business is it of yours? You're just driving the bus.
That a fact?
You know it.
My dad's a hunter, and I want to follow in his footsteps.
Whoa there, kid. Don't spill so easy. Show some solidarity here.
What? What's the big secret?
Never you mind. I don't jump when someone says boo.
I concur with Riolio.
Hey, get my name right!
And this is Kurapika speaking.
One could simply dodge the question with a plausible lie, but I consider lying a sin equal to greed, and as dishonorable.
It's Leorio! Got it?
Yet, to give an honest answer to someone I don't know is not to me a reasonable alternative. The matter is simply too personal.
That's your view, eh? Then both of you can just get off my ship.
What?
I see it still hasn't sunk in, so listen up! The hunter qualification exam has begun. And then it shows the ship. All those turbulent seas that we saw ahead of the ship, it all of a sudden gets eerily and weirdly calm, just out of nowhere. And then the ship is easy now. The storm that they were in just subsides. His name is cool, to be honest. Do you mean Kurapika or Leorio? Now, so is it Leo or Leo? Because I could say Leorio or Leorio. I want to say Leorio. But the ship comes down, and it's just the captain, Kurapika, Leorio, and Gon. As many people want a hunter's license as there are stars in the sky. You think there are enough examiners with enough time to judge them all? Not hardly. That's why there are people like me who not only drive the bus, but also screen the applicants. The other passengers are all dropouts and have been reported as such to the committee. If any of them reach the site of the exam by different routes, they'll be turned away. Whether you three qualify is my call too. Best you keep that in mind. Now, about my question. And that's when Leorio and Kurapika fully understand what's oh, you're the guy that we need to take seriously right now. But Leorio's quiet, and then Kurapika speaks up.
I'm the last of the Kurta clan. I want to be a hunter so I can capture the Phantom Troop.
That gang of
robbers killed my brethren 4 years ago.
You ought to be a blacklist hunter then. The Phantom Troop is a Class A bounty. Even seasoned hunters balk at taking a run at them. Those few who've tried have died.
I do not fear death. What I fear is that my rage will one day fade away.
And then the captain's quiet.
So you're out for revenge? You don't have to be a hunter to do that.
Don't be as stupid as you look, Riolio. The places you can't go, the information you can't access, the actions you can't take, unless you're a hunter, would obviously boggle your tiny mind.
And you, Leorio?
Me? As it appears our business is your business, Captain. I'll cut to the chase. I want money. Lots of money. Money you can get. Money gets you anything. A big house, a cool car, top grade booze. And not a lick of class.
That's the last straw. Step outside, Kurapika. I'll make sure you're the last of the Kurtas.
You dare say that?
That, and then some. Let's go.
After you.
And both Kurapika and Leorio just make their way out. Hey, we're not finished here. And you're withdrawing from the test?
Better let him go.
Eh?
If you want to know a person, find out what makes him angry. One of Aunt Mito's favorite sayings. Something serious is bugging those guys. They need to work it out.
Captain, the wind's gusting something fierce. And the wind is howling outside. But both Kurapika and Leorio just openly go out there. Shorten the sails or we'll capsize! Hurry! The mast's straining! Heave ho! Heave ho! Heave ho!
Take it back, and I'll forgive you, Riolio.
Take it back yourself, Kurapika. I've said what I've said.
Uh-oh. If someone goes overboard, they're finished. Maybe I can help, Captain. Be my guest, kid. And Kurapika draws his weapons, which are 2 swords that are connected by a chain. Are you ready? Bring it! And all of a sudden, the mast snaps at the top of the ship next to the crow's nest, and it causes the entire ship to lean. And the piece that fell off goes straight towards a crewmate and hits him directly in the face. Yeah! Gatto! And both Gon and the captain are shocked as this one crewmate starts to fall towards the ocean. Just like the captain said, if anyone goes overboard, they're done. This dude looks like he's finished. But then it shows Leorio moving past Kurapika, going, darn. And then Gon is moving quickly as well. And then it shows Kurapika and Leorio trying to grab the guy's legs, but they miss. But then Gon, moving as fast as he springs between the both of them and manages to grab onto that guy's legs. And then Kurapika and Leorio grab onto Gon's legs. Hold on, we'll get a rope! Grab Katsu, he's injured! Pull him up! Great going, kid, you saved him!
Now, I hit my nose.
And he hit his nose.
I hit my nose.
And then it shows Kurapika and Leorio just looking at Gon going, what were you thinking? A mermaid would have been hard-pressed to survive that maelstrom out there. You'd go under in a split second. Yeah, moron, if we hadn't grabbed your legs, you'd be sleeping with the fishes as we speak.
You were the ones fighting up here. But you did grab my legs.
And Leorio and Kurapika are quiet, and the captain's just looking. So he did.
Uh-huh.
And then both Kurapika and Leorio just look at each other. And then they just smile.
My apologies, Leorio, for my disrespect.
Forget it. It was an honest mistake. Sorry for that crack about your clan. And then it just shows Gon smiling. And the captain pushing his hat down going, ha 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 ha! What a pair you are! Arrogant, single-minded, but I've taken a liking to ya. And since I'm in such a good mood right now, I've decided to drop all 3 of you at the port nearest the exam hole.
Huh? What about your test?
Too nice a day for tests. Come on, I'll show you more about steering this tub.
Yay!
And then Gon just runs off with the captain. So this whole interaction has allowed them to be able to be put right next to the exam hall. And that is the end of chapter 2. Now, here's the thing. The last page that we get with each of these chapters shows a different character. Hold on. I'll cut this part out so we can just move on to the next thing. But the thing with each of these chapters I've gone through is that it shows a character at the end of each. In the first one, we had Gon. In this second chapter, we have Kurapika. Onwards to chapter 3. I did a lot of running. Chapter 3, The Ultimate Choice. Hunter Exam Directions. This notice is sent to all Hunter applicants, providing the date, time, and a general location of the exam hall. This is the only information provided to applicants at this stage. This will further test applicants' acceptability. And it shows Gon reading these directions with some sort of ostrich llama? An ostrich llama? It's weird. These creatures are weird. Even weirder than the creatures from One Piece when you think about it. Dole Harbor. And it has Kurapika, Leorio, and Gon walking through. All these people. Now for a ride to Saban. And it shows all these people walking around, and Kurapika's looking around. Most of these people are probably going our way. And then it shows the captain.
Thanks for everything, Captain. Fair seas to you.
And to you, lad. Good luck. A final word, if I may.
And then Gon's all like, And then he points.
That lone pine tree up there on that hill might be a good place to start looking for the exam hole.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Stop fretting, Gene. That's a fine young lad you got there.
And it shows that someone has been listening in on the conversation between the captain and Gon.
I don't know about that, Gon. See? Saban's right on the map. Can't miss it. Why go up there the opposite way? Best shot's the express bus to Saban. Climbing that hill would be a waste of time.
Are you sure that's what the captain suggested? Yep, and I'm gonna check it out. Beats waiting for a bus, if you ask me.
Gon, you need to learn not to trust so much. I say we take the bus.
And then Gon is all like, fine, y'all do what y'all want. I'm still going towards the tree. Like, he doesn't even say anything. He just says, I'm going towards the tree. And then Kurapika starts following him.
Hey, where are you going?
I find that I'm interested in what Gon may do.
Thought you were more independent. Well, suit yourself. Me, I'm sticking to what makes sense.
And then it shows Leorio sitting down with the crowd at the bus stop, with them going,
getting late. Hey, I hear none of the express buses to Saban even got there. So, it was a trap. Weeded out a lot of stupid rookies, that's for sure.
And that's when... And the thing is, Leorio's ears perk up because he's hearing all of this, and that's when he realizes, hey, you guys, wait up! You shouldn't go off by yourselves! Who knows what lurks on that hill? Hey, wait for me! And he starts taking off to where Gon and Kurapika have gone. And then it cuts to this old, decrepit, ruined town. Like, buildings are boarded up. There's tattered cloth all over the place. Birds and tattered birds looking around.
What a creepy, crummy place. And not a soul around.
Oh, there's lots of folks here.
Yes, keep your guard up.
How can you tell?
I hear them breathing.
Yeah, and clothes rustling. Are they hiding?
And the thing is, Kurapika and Gon have good senses, but Leorio can't hear jack.
Well, sue me for having normal hearing.
And then Kurapika goes, shh, because all of a sudden, the streets are filled with people. People with gas masks on. And it cuts to this old, elderly lady that's in the midst of them, and they're all just looking.
The excitement. Time for the mind-boggling two-choice quiz!
And everyone is just looking at her. And then everyone in the gas masks are clapping their hands.
You three heading for that pine tree? You'll have to go through this town to get there. The other trails are like a maze, winding through the realms of ferocious magical beasts. I will pose a single question and give you but 5 seconds to answer. Answer incorrectly, and you fail. No hunter license for any of you this year.
Leorio just goes, And then Kurapika, yes, this is another test.
You must answer with a 1 or a 2. Say anything else, however clever, and you'll be wrong.
Hold the phone. We get one question between the 3 of us? And I'll fail if Kurapika botches it?
It's more likely you will make a mistake. How depressing.
And then Gon says,
no, it means we get to put our heads together on one answer. On one question.
I'm no whiz at quizzes. Okay, if you put it that way.
And then someone goes, "What's the holdup here?" And it looks like the pants of the guy that was listening in on the captain and Gon. "What's the holdup here?
Mind if I play through?" Sorry, kid. I overheard you and your sailor friend.
Huh?
So clueless. Your chat with the captain.
Well,
He can go first.
This is Leorio saying to the guy who just showed up, the random guy that just showed up.
He can go first. And we'll see what the questions are like. Thanks. Later, fools. I'll lay traps for 'em up ahead.
And this dude is saying that to himself.
here's the question. Rogues have taken your mother and your true love captive. You may only rescue one. 1, your mother. 2, your true love. Which do you save?
And everyone, like our big three, our three mains, they just go, "Huh?" I'll say that to save on words. Our three mains just go, "Huh?" And then Kurapika,
She can't be serious. That is a subjective issue, ripe with
unquantifiable variables. I don't think I've ever had that in a manga chapter said to me before, so it's new.
She can't be serious. That is a subjective issue, rife with unquantifiable variables. Are we to simply guess which answer she prefers?
And then the dude with the pants just goes,
1. In fact, I'd choose my true love, but no doubt this hag favors the answer I gave.
And your reason?
One may find another true love, but one's mother is irreplaceable.
And then the old lady speaks to all the people with the gas mask, and they mutter as she goes,
You may go.
and then everyone's quiet. And then Leorio goes,
Oh, you've gotta be kidding! You crazy old bat, what kind of quiz is this? There's no right answer to a question like that, it never has been! You applicant screeners are full of crap, you know that, and I'm not taking it! I'll find another route to the exam hall!
There's no other route. Not for you. This is the way you must pass. Leave and you can forget about your license.
and then it zooms into Leorio. Well, it zooms into Kurapika, who goes,
Leorio, what? You intend to go along with this farce?
Hold it!
and then the old lady is thinking to himself,
The blonde one's heard. No more chit-chat. Any more extraneous remarks, you all fail. Answer now. 1, you'll take the quiz. 2, you won't.
and then Kurapika just says, 1. And Leorio is looking angry at Kurapika making that decision.
Think, Leorio. It's a simple trick. Gon, you've picked up on it, I'm sure. It's not the questions, but what we hear and don't hear.
Here is the question. Your son and daughter have been kidnapped. You can only get one back. Which one will you get back? 1, your daughter. 2, your son.
I like doing this voice for this old lady.
Yeah, same question. She takes me for an idiot.
And it's counting down to 5, 4, 3, 2, while Leorio is walking around, and he picks up a stick, and he's just, while the old lady is counting down, he picks up a stick and breaks it so that it can be, he can swing it, and he thinks to himself,
Go on, keep counting down. That's how long you have to live, hag.
and then it just shows Kurapika and Gon as it gets to 2 and then 1, and then the old lady goes,
Beep. Time's up.
and then Leorio willingly tries to hit the old lady with the stick, but Kurapika blocks him.
Why'd you block me? Leorio, calm down. I won't. I'm pissed! I want to knock her head off and storm the exam hall! I want to bust some examiners' heads and show them they're not so hot! Who cares about hunters anyway? Always slinking around, niffing after bounties. Who needs them?
We've passed the test, Leorio.
What?
And then Leorio swiftly knocks away Leorio's arm.
Control your temper, Leorio. Don't you see? The correct response is no response. As you aptly said yourself, neither choice is right. She told us that we could only say one or two, but she didn't tell us that we had to say anything. Silence, indeed, was golden.
But that snide punk!
Just that
She didn't say he was...
she didn't say he was right, just that he could go. I heard his scream. I don't think he got very far before encountering a magical beast. My conclusion, this isn't the right path.
Oh, that dude didn't make it. That dude didn't make it. Oh, he gone. Oh, Pants Man is gone. And Gon and Kurapika heard him scream.
My conclusion, this isn't the right path.
You're right. This is the right path.
And then those two other villagers open up a secret wall that leads down a long, dark hallway.
It's a plain trail, no branches or forks. You'll reach the summit in 2 hours.
And then Leorio just gets wide-eyed and goes,
Old woman, my apologies.
Quite all right, young man. People like you make this job interesting. Good luck with the rest of the exam.
Thanks.
and then they walk. I thought he had silhouette plot armor. No, there is no silhouette plot armor in here. He thought that he could lurk in the background and he'd be fine. No, Kurapika and Gon heard that man. That's the scary thing. Kurapika and Gon heard that man die. But here's the thing, though. It wasn't close. That's the thing. If Leorio couldn't hear it, that means that guy was so far away that he couldn't hear it, but Gon and Kurapika could hear him, and they heard that man get torn to shreds. That is actually scary. They heard and listened to this man die and figured, no, you know what? This probably isn't the way we need to be going. So this is probably a trick question. That's scary. Your senses are so good you can hear a person dying, but someone else is all like, what? I don't hear anything. But you can hear this man being ripped apart. That's sad, but also kind of funny. That means no plot drama for you. But keep going. We're going to keep going. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted here because I like talking to you guys. I can't figure out an answer. And then Gon finally speaks up.
You can stop thinking now. We passed.
What do you mean?
We mean the quiz is over.
Oh, I know. But what if one day you really have to make a choice like that? What then?
And Kurapika and Leorio have no answer.
It won't be about which is correct, but about what's truly in your heart when the chips are down.
And they're both quiet. And then the old lady thinks to herself,
Yes, the lad has perceived the essential point of the test. What's abstract now may be cruel reality later. One must be ready for such crossroads in life.
as it shows Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio going down the true path to the exam hall. And that's the end of chapter 3, and we get Leorio as a character at the end of this page. Onwards to chapter 4. We are officially halfway through this entire volume. I thought this was going to be long. I thought each chapter was going to be long-winded. But compared to reading the light novel of Solo Leveling, this is easy work. This is easy. This is easy work. And then we get to chapter 4. Kiriko, Wicked Magical Vulpes. Or Vulpes. Wicked magical Vulpes. But chapter 4, Kiriko, Wicked Magical Vulpes. And then we have a sign that says, "Beware magical beasts." And then we cut to Leorio.
The old woman said it was a 2-hour hike, but it's getting dark. We've been at this for 4 hours at least. Shee, another beast warning. Forget beasts, where's that stupid exam hall? I'm hungry, I have to take a dump.
And he's saying all this extra stuff.
Come on, Leorio, keep up!
And then it cuts to Kurapika.
There it is.
And then it cuts to the old lady again.
There is a house under the pine tree. The couple who live there are navigators. If you manage a favorable impression, they'll see you to the exam hall.
Once again, and it has 2 different pages that have the title on it. Chapter 4, Kiriko, Wicked Magical Vulpes. Navigators. The hunter exam is held at a different place each year. It is the job of the navigators to know where it is, and to guide promising hunter applicants there. It is all but impossible to reach the hall without their guidance. The hall is deliberately hard to find, and the path is strewed about with traps to whittle down the number of applicants. Any applicant who gets through screening must find a navigator, and then prove to that navigator that he or she is worthy. And we get to the base of the tree, and it's a log cabin. Very nice looking log cabin. Kind of reminds me of Kirito's and Asuna's log cabin from, like, the beginning of SAO. Kind of reminds me of that.
Whew, finally here.
It's so quiet. Are we the only applicants to arrive? And then Leorio knocks on the door. Hello? Anyone here? And as soon as he steps inside, everyone's shocked because we see a weird-looking creature holding 2 people hostage. While one has been badly beaten, he's holding the other lady. He's holding a lady there in front going,
Kill, 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 kill.
"A magical beast!" And they all get their weapons ready. Kurapika with his dual swords, Leorio with his knife, which I forgot to mention when they were about to fight each other the first time, I believe. And the magical beast that looks like a giant... what do you even call this creature? It's not a bandicoot. Wait, is it a bandicoot? Kind of reminds me of a big, monstrous-looking bandicoot. It's a big old bandicoot magical beast. And it barrels through all of them, still holding the lady in tow, and he launches outside of the building.
We gotta save her!
Leorio, see to his injuries.
I'm on it. Good luck.
My wife, help! And it cuts to Gon and Leorio as they, it cuts to Gon and Kurapika as they get outside.
It ran into the forest, but which way?
And Gon is looking, and using his own senses, he can see where this magical beast is going.
This way!
And he takes off, and Kurapika follows behind.
He saw that fleeting shadow in the inky darkness of the forest?
And it shows Gon leaping through the forest like he's straight out of Naruto, just leaping through, swinging on branches. And Kurapika's keeping up, going,
"This kid is really something."
And Gon has already caught up to the creature, literally bouncing from tree branch to tree branch.
Let her go, you!
Make me squirt.
And then this surprises Gon as he goes,
Did you hear that? It talked! Cool!
"Of course it talked. That is why they're called magical beasts. How could he not know that?
This one is a Kiriko. This one is a Kiriko. They are shapeshifters. They can even take on human form, so be careful."
If they can talk, this'll be easy!
And then it cuts to Gon going,
Hey, fuzzy butt!
and then the Kiriko looks behind him, and Gon is already in front of his face.
What? Such speed!
And then Gon takes his fishing rod and slams the Kiriko over the head.
Catch her, Kurapika!
And then while the lady's falling, Kurapika manages to grab her and hold onto a branch all at the same time.
That was reckless.
And then the Kiriko grabs, lands on the side of a tree and goes,
You little brat! I'll get you for this!
and then the Kiriko takes off. Yeah, the Kiriko takes off.
Hey, come back!
And then it cuts back to Kurapika, who's there with the lady.
How are you feeling? Any pain?
No, I'm fine. Where's my husband? Is he all right? I don't...
Don't worry. A friend of ours is with him.
Please, I beg you, take me to him.
And while Kurapika is holding on to her, she pays attention to her tattoos.
These tattoos. Ah, you're...
And then Leorio comes in.
Kurapika, you okay?
Yeah, Gon is chasing the beast.
Is the man all right?
Sure, just knocked around. Scrapes and bruises, mostly. Nothing serious. I gave him some painkillers. He's sleeping now.
I see.
And then Kurapika immediately swings his weapon in the face of Leorio? Because as soon as Leorio dashes backwards, Leorio's face changes into that of another Kiriko.
How'd you know? I hate to disappoint, but I didn't. Leorio said he would look after the injured man. I hit him because I thought he'd abandoned that obligation to saunter out here. A lucky mistake.
And then the Kiriko disappears. And the woman's silent.
Now then, answer me this. Who are you?
As Kurapika brandishes his own sword, and then the lady, who looked kind of sorrowful, starts smiling to herself, and her face starts contorting into a little bit of a weird smile. And then we cut back to the darkness, where Gon is out there by himself. And then the Kiriko is right in front of Gon. And they're both staring at each other.
Pretty good moves, kid. Actually got a hit on me. But that stroke is gonna cost ya!
And the Kiriko launches at Gon. And just as this... Q, how much do you remember from the anime? 10%, maybe 20%? I want to say 10%. It's only like some of the fight scenes that I remember, but the in-between I really don't remember. I'll probably bring it up once we get to those points. Because like this, the whole Kiriko thing, I kind of forgot during the anime. But just as soon as the Kiriko is about to brandish its claws against Gon, Gon just says,
My name's Gon. What's yours?
And then the Kiriko just looks at him with his claws inches from Gon's face, who looks completely unfazed. And then the Kiriko is standing there confused as Gon goes,
Where's the beast I actually hit? You're some friend of his? You're not him, that's for sure. Not that I won't fight you if I have to.
How did you figure that out?
Well, there's your face. It's nothing like his. Your voice is a little thinner and higher pitched, too.
And then the Kiriko is just standing there going,
Hey, honey, come here. You gotta check this out.
And then it cuts to another Kiriko that comes up there and goes,
It's been ages since a human was able to tell us apart, and so easily.
And then Leorio and Kurapika are both shocked because the two people that were there in the building when this Kiriko was assaulting them, they're fine and standing right next to the other Kirikos. And then Leorio just goes,
Can you tell them apart? Not at all.
The one Kurapika and I bopped is the husband.
So, which one is that?
And as you've now realized, we're the navigators. I'm their daughter.
I'm their son.
These tattoos signify a Sumi woman's betrothal to God and her vow of chastity. Few today would recognize such ancient symbols on sight. However, Kurapika did, and also knew their significance, that I therefore had no spouse.
Leorio, on the other hand, never figured me out.
Oopsie.
But he did apply exceptional first aid skills. More to the point, he ministered to what he thought were my needs with great diligence and compassion.
Shucks, wasn't nothing. As for Gon, he displayed extraordinary agility and perception. Few humans have ever been so naturally gifted. Didn't see him for a navigator. Oh,
Didn't see him for a navigator, though. Whopped me good.
didn't see him. Oh wait.
Whopped me good.
Oh, wait, that is Gon saying that.
Didn't see him for a navigator, though. Whopped me good.
You all pass. We'll take you straight to the exam hall.
And the Kirikos are capable of making wings so they can fly. Gon and his friends enjoyed their brief flight, but had to wonder if this was just the screening process. What did the exam itself hold in store for them? And that is the end of chapter 4. And the character we get at the end of this chapter is a dude with a pointed eyebrow, swept back hair, a tattoo under his eye, a slight smile, and the name Hisoka. Onwards to chapter 5. I'm excited to read this whole series. Woohoo! Chapter 5, the first phase begins. Part 1. Zaban City. And then we cut to people walking around in the city. 2510 Subashi Street. And this is a Kiriko in disguise. There, that's it. The exam hall.
Wow.
And it's a massive massive tower. It's a massive tower. Here's where the best of the best come. Aspiring hunters from all over the world.
Wonder how Dad felt at this point, on his first try at the hunter exam.
I meant next door. And it's not the big building in front of them, it's next to it. And they look beside them, and it's a noodle shop? A greasy spoon? This is a gag, right? You're saying all the hunter exam applicants are jammed into that dive? That's it exactly. Did you expect the exam hall to be something conspicuous? Something that looked like it could hold all those countless candidates? And they go in, and it already has a cook in there going, "Welcome! What'll it be?" The steak combo. And this catches the cook's attention because this is the Kiriko, the navigator, speaking to the cook, going, "The steak combo. Grilled or broiled?" "Grilled over low flame." "Coming up!"
This way, please.
And they all get walked into a room and the door closes behind them. Food already prepared. 1 in 10,000. And this is the Kiriko. The odds you'd get this far. Not bad for your first run at the exam. Good luck the rest of the way. And look me up next year, won't you? And then I guess the cook flips the switch, because then all of a sudden the room moves down underground in this very long elevator. Oh, and then Leorio is eating. "Oh, what do you mean? He thinks we won't make it all the way this year?" "Third year's the charm, On average, every 3 years a talented rookie triumphs on their first try. So I'm told. Many rookies mentally crack under the demands of the test, while others are crushed by the veteran applicants and never take another crack at it." Oh, I think this is still Kurapika saying, "Many rookies mentally crack under the demands of the test, while others are crushed by the veteran applicants and never take another crack at it."
So, why do so many want to be hunters? Why do they keep pushing themselves through this grinder?
And then both Kurapika and Leorio are confused by Gon's question. "Don't you know anything about anything, kid? Being a hunter is the most lucrative, noble career there is." And this is both Kurapika and Leorio saying, "Being a hunter is the most lucrative, noble career there is." And being a hunter is the most lucrative, noble career there is. And they both look at each other. I wanted to make sure that my cadence and inflection was good for that. I had to do right. And they both look at each other. Leorio calling Karapika goody two-shoot, goody goody, money grubber. Then we have the name of the hypothetical card. Hypothetical card. Hypothetical. The license is only given to fully qualified hunters. With it, you have carte blanche to enter most countries and use almost all available public resources. Of the 100 richest people in the world, 60 are hunters. The license is a symbol of fame and fortune. The price it would fetch if you sold it would guarantee no one in your family would have to work for 7 generations. A hunter's real job is to Oh wait, this is... I'm just now noticing where the dialogue points are pointing to. It's pointing to Karapika and Leorio! I just had to look down. My mic was in... The license is only given to fully qualified hunters. With it, you have carte blanche to enter most countries and use almost all available public resources. Of the 100 richest people in the world, 60 are hunters. The license is a symbol of fame and fortune. The price it would fetch if you sold it would guarantee no one in your family would have to work for 7 generations. Then we get to Karapika. A hunter's real job is to secure order in both society and nature. The image of bagging animals and scrounging for treasure belongs to the low-life amateur. The pro hunter seeks to preserve and protect precious cultural artifacts as well as rare flora and fauna. Equally important is tracking down wanted criminals and poachers. Needless to say, it requires profound knowledge, sound mind and body, and strong convictions. It's a tough but rewarding career. 7 generations is crazy? Right. The license for qualified hunters, it can go for so much that your children's would be set for life. That is astronomical. Because people can live for a long time. So that's entire Oh wait, you have to go. I'll watch the rest in a couple of hours. So I wish everyone here a wonderful day. Mihai, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed. And once again, thank you for being a member on this channel. Your support means the absolute world to me, as does the support of everybody else here. But you have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you in our next session, with us continuing Borderlands tomorrow. But yeah, 7 generations of family members set for life because of one card if you sold it. That is insane. 1 generation set for life is already insane, but 7 generations worth? That's more money than even the most richest person in the world will probably never see achieved in their lifetime. How about it, Cone? What does being a hunter mean to you? And then it cuts to Gon, who's still eating, going,
The career, sure, but...
And then they get to the 100th floor. Ah, we're here. Hold that thought, Gon. And the door opens, and they all prepare to leave. And they're in this underground tunnel that is just full of people. In a very well done double spread panel here. It's just a double spread panel that showcases this entire tunnel that is just chock full of people, and they're all looking at our 3 mains. Including, there's this one big, massive, tall dude in the back with the number 123 on him. And he's holding what it appears to be like a giant hammer or multiple hammers. Some dude's got a spear. There's so many people here. And they're all looking. And they're all looking at our 3 mains. And they're just giving them the stink eye. And then they all turn around and start doing what they're doing, because I'm pretty sure the whole room got quiet as soon as they entered. And I immediately recognized someone who's in this crowd on the double spread panel. I didn't see him at first, but it was a serious Where's Waldo moment, but I see him there. But then Karapika goes, and then, no, Leorio goes gulp, and then Karapika continues. Everyone here is 1 in 10,000. They are clearly experts in their fields. Not one of them is a loser. Mighty gloomy down here, like a subway tunnel. I wonder how many there are. And Gon is wondering, oh wait, no, this is Gon going,
Mighty gloomy down here, like a subway tunnel. I wonder how many are here.
And then it shows someone from someone's perspective looking down going, "You're the 405th. How do? Name's Tonpa." And it's this dude with this sort of upturned hair a little bit, but also a little grizzly 5 o'clock shadow. "Name's Tonpa. Pleased to meet you."
Your badge, sir.
And it cuts to just some sort of creature walking up to Leorio, giving him his badge. "I gather you knew."
You can tell?
"Pretty much. This is my 35th go. I started when I was 10.
35th?
Yep, you might say I'm an expert examinee. Anything you want to know, just ask."
Thanks.
He sounds proud of it. 34 failures so far. But he failed year after year. Oh wait, he sounds proud of it. But he failed year after year. 34 failures so far.
You know everyone here then.
Just about. I'll point out some of the regulars. 103, Bourbon, the snake charmer. A tenacious competitor. Get on his bad side and you'll never get off. 76, Cherry, the martial artist. In terms of unarmed combat, he's the best. 255, Toto, the wrestler. Strong as anything and a lot smarter than he looks. 197 to 199, the Amori brothers. They specialize in teamwork and keep getting better at it. 384, Garetta, the huntsman. He's darn handy with blow darts and clubs. That's just a sample of a host of capable people who haven't quite made the grade yet. Oh, you guys have no idea how long I have waited to voice this particular character. You have no idea how long I have waited, because it shows this person apparently removing this guy's arms. Ah! Behold, now you see them, now you don't. No tricks involved. My arms! You should be more careful. At least apologize when you bump into someone. And the thing about this individual is that we have the symbols that you would see on cards directly in his speech bubbles. You know, hearts, clubs, spades, diamonds. Huh, he's back. Too bad. 44th, Hisoka the magician. He seemed like a shoo-in last year, but then he attacked an examiner he didn't, approve of and was disqualified. And they didn't tell him to take a hike for good? Of course not. We get new examiners each year. They decide what the tests are and who gets to take them. The devil himself can pass the hunter exam if an examiner says it's okay. Hisoka took out 20 examinees last year, a score I'm sure he won't mind improving on. Steer clear from him if you can. There's lots of others like him too, but I can show you the ropes.
Great!
Poor little newbies. The latest hapless victims of Rookie Crusher Tompa. Hey, what say we... And then it shows Tompa all of a sudden with that big old smile. With that big old smile, he takes out 3 cans and goes, "Hey, let's say we drink a toast and to friendship and luck." And he starts drinking, and then he gives it to Karapika, Leorio, and Gon goes,
Sure!
"Those cans of juice contain a super strength laxative. 1 sip and you're glued to the porcelain throne for 3 days. Not a viable position for taking the hunter exam." And then Gon starts to sip it and slosh around in his mouth, but before he swallows, he spits it out.
Blah! Tastes weird, Tompa. It must have gone bad.
Really? Dear me, that's odd. What gives? The laxative is practically odorless and tasteless. What kind of taste buds does this kid have? And because Gon poured out his drink, sorry, eyelash. Yep, I knew it was an eyelash. Because Gon poured out his drink, Karapika and Leorio pour out theirs. And that is the end of chapter 5. And the character we get at the end of this chapter is Kite. Onwards to chapter 6. We're almost done, everybody. Yeah, at the very least, this will probably be like hour-long sessions, but not longer than that. So yeah, this will be much easier for me to get through on a day. Chapter 6. 2 more after this. The first phase begins, part 2. And we cut back to the tunnel. Yeah, my deepest apologies.
Oh, that's okay, Tompa. It's just lucky I drink first. Taste is a vital force survival tool, so my tongue's trained to detect anything iffy.
Dread, he seems like a naive twerp, but he's a feral savant. That's lucky, all right. And his friends caught on quick. So much for my opening gambit. Lots of rookies like that this year. I can't seem to get at him with my usual bag of tricks. Take 294, Hanzo. He said yakin when I said hi.
He started, wait, he's not say yakin. He started yakin. It's, tune me out. Just tune me out. I am so sorry.
He started, take 294, Hanzo. He started yakking when I said hi. Don't tell anyone, but I'm actually a ninja. I want a license so I can hunt the elusive hermit scroll. Rumor is, it's in a country barred to commoners. Nice chatting with you. Helps lighten the dismal mood around here. That reminds me, the other day...
Yeah?
He is a prime sucker at last.
What say we drink to that? And then, all of a sudden, Hanzo gets serious and goes, no.
The shinobi eat and drink nothing offered to them by others. No offense.
Sure!
Assassin's eyes. Trust no one but himself. As for 187 Nicholas...
One moment, please. Tonpa.
Ah, you're on your 35th attempt. That's the second highest number of tries by anyone. You do, however, hold the record for consecutive tries at 30. Pretty impressive. You make a good showing every time, but you get too caught into whittling down the newbie faction to make the cut. That's how you earn the Torbriquet. Torbriquet? That's how you earn the sobriquet. Yeah. That's how you earn the sobriquet Rookie Crusher. Therefore, I'll decline your turnovers.
And then there's 301, who's just too creepy. I decided to take a pass.
And it's this dude who has pins all over his face and body. And his face is contorted in like this weird shape.
One of them actually drank my juice.
And it's this kid walking around with his skateboard.
99, Killua. About the same age as 4 or 5, but clearly clueless. Still has lots to learn about life. But he's ready to explode.
And then Killua is just scratching his face.
Hey, Tompa, can you spare another can of that juice?
Sure.
I'm thirsty as anything. Must be nerves, huh?
And then he starts chugging. He starts chugging all of these laxative drinks. He's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's just chugging all of them.
Ah, yummy.
What's up? The first one should have kicked in by now. Drink 5 of those and you die of dehydration.
It's okay.
Huh?
I'm doing fine, really. I've built up my resistance. No poison will kill me.
But he doesn't even know what kind of drug I used. Is he resistant to everything? This year's rookies are just too strange. Which means this exam's gonna be fun.
And then it cuts to an alarm that goes off. And it gets everyone. I was trying to get the tongue going. I was trying to get it going. And it gets everyone's attention. And we cut to this person in a suit who looks like a butler who's standing up on top of one of the pipes in the tunnel next to an entrance he may have gone through as he goes, "As of now, registration is closed. The hunter exam will now begin. Everyone ready? Good. And he hops down from it. And goes, this way, please. Just so there's no mistake, the hunter exam is very rigorous. If you lack the necessary ability, too bad. If you're unlucky, again, too bad. And examinees are not above sabotaging each other, as you saw. If you're okay with that, then you're welcome to continue. And mind you, this dude has swept down parted hair in the middle, with a big old mustache, but no visible mouth. And everyone just starts walking behind him. And it looks like he just starts walking ahead of everyone. Still with me? Good, you 404 applicants may enter the first phase. Apart from the armless guy, and then it cuts to Leorio going, apart from the armless guy, that's everybody. And hoped a few would chicken out. And then Gon says,
This is odd.
And while they're walking, the guy starts walking faster. He goes from a regular walk and he just starts power walking faster than everyone's just like walking casually.
Say, what's...
And then he just starts taking off and everyone's trying to run after him, but the dude looks like he's not even breaking a sweat. And everyone starts dashing. And Leorio's looking around like, huh?
Hey, what's up? Why is everyone in such a rush? As I thought, the pace is quickening.
Yeah, the guy in front has started running.
And everyone starts to run after our examiner. I am Satots, your examiner for the first phase of the exam, as well as your guide to the second phase. And this surprises everyone. We still can't see a mouth.
Second, but what's the first?
This. What else? I told you the exam had begun, did I not? You're now taking it. All you have to do is keep up with me. Simple, no? And then everyone is just trying to keep up with Satots. Where we're going and when we'll get there, I can't say. To find out, just follow. Then we get Kurapika.
That's it. Simple indeed.
Simple weird, I think.
Not really, it's just an endurance test. No problem here. I can keep up with anybody.
And then Kurapika is thinking,
this isn't about physical endurance. There is a psychological element as well. Not knowing how long we have to run will seriously test our mental resilience.
And while they're doing that, Killua comes in, and he's on his skateboard chilling.
A skateboard? That's cheating!
How so?
How do you think? He told us it's an endurance test.
No, you said that. He only said to follow.
Hey, whose side are you on?
Yelling just wastes energy, Leorio, and irritates me, don't forget. We could bring whatever we wanted to the exam. And Leorio's getting upset at the fact that he misjudged, and people are calling him out on it. And then it cuts to Killua, who notices Gon.
Hey, you. How old are you?
Almost 12.
Oh, yeah? Me too. Huh.
And then he flips off of his board and goes,
I think I'll run for a bit.
Wow, cool!
I'm Killua. I'm Gon. And who are you, Pops?
Pops? I'm no Pops. I'm not even 20 yet.
No way!
Et tu, Gon? That's it. Our friendship is over. And then Kurapika is ignoring them, going, not getting involved. And then we continue through the tunnel as everyone continues to run behind Satots. And Satots is not even breaking a sweat. It zooms in on Hanzo, the other examinees. It zooms in on Hisoka.
Been running about 3 hours. We must have covered nearly 40 kilometers at this pace. Some must have dropped out by now. But how much longer can we keep running?
And then it cuts to Leorio, who's sweating bullets, getting tired.
This is nuts! We've been running for 4, maybe 5 hours and nobody's dropped out yet!
And then Gon looks behind and goes,
How you doing?
And then Leorio weakly puts up a thumbs up.
I didn't expect such a tough first phase. Correction,
I didn't expect such tough applicants. These guys are the cream of the crop. Didn't appreciate that until now. I'm seriously outclassed. Odds to get this far, 1 in 10,000. And a rookie might pass every 3 years. Maybe. Who am I kidding? I'm done, finished, kaput. An ordinary guy like me's got no chance. At all. And then Leorio starts to slow down. And Gon notices.
Leorio!
And then Killua goes,
He's failed, Gon. That's how it goes. Come on.
and Gon stops. And Leorio is wheezing. That's crap. I came here to become a hunter, and that's that! Full stop! And Leorio just gets his second win and takes off. And he runs right past Gon. And then Gon is smiling and he keeps up with him. And while they're running, he even runs past Kurapika. And then Gon looks behind him and goes, and notices that Leorio forgot his case. And using his fishing line, whips it out, grabs onto the case, and pulls the case right back to him. Enough to impress Killua.
Wow, cool. I gotta try that.
I want to try your skateboard.
60 kilometers and counting. Number of dropouts, 0. As it shows Leorio in front of Kurapika still running on. And that's the end of Chapter 6. Onwards to Chapter 7. But the last character we get for Chapter 6 is an illustration of Killua. Chapter 7. Oh yeah, this is a breeze. Compared to me reading the light novel of Solo Leveling, this is a flat out breeze. Let me make sure that chat's good. Everybody good? Everybody good? Everybody okay? Let's keep it going. I got a little bit of water left, but this should be enough. This will be enough to get me through the last 2 chapters. Let's go! Chapter 7, Respective Reasons.
Not possible. Not possible. Not possible. Not possible. No way. No way. No way can I fail. No way! I've always been unbeatable. Always. Number 1 in academics.
I have no idea who's saying all this.
Number 1 in sports. No one else can remotely compare. Everyone else is riffraff for me to use and discard at will. It's simply inconceivable that I could fail. I mean, me, a flunk, a dropout, a loser! Loser, failure, idiot, dropout, useless. Ha ha ha!
Oh! It's the kid that looked up Tonpa on his laptop. He is sweating all over. He's slobbering out of his mouth. He's crying. He's got snot coming out of his nose. He's having the hardest time. He's having a hard time keeping up with everyone. No, I can't. Won't.
He's done for. Hit the wall.
He drops his laptop, still trying to keep up. And he's having a hard time. Like you know how you see it in anime when people have no energy and they start running with their heads up, which is not even a good way to keep running. It's all like,
hey, rookie. Yeah, slowpoke. It's only been 6 hours. Look at, he's all tuckered out. What a baby. You get this year's pathetic award. Guy. How'd a loser like you get this far anyway?
You can't cut it, man.
Go home to mommy.
And we get another title with Chapter 7, Respective Reasons. 80 kilometers and counting. Number of dropouts, 1. And it's that same dude, it's that same Sadidi dude that was using his laptop. He was the first to go. 1 down, many to go. Then we get Tonpa.
Nice job, guys. Thanks. That one's done. For good. Did okay for a rookie, though.
Kinda. Oh, and it looks like Tonpa is paying them, because apparently he was paying them to, disparage the guy from continuing on.
That one's done for good. Did okay for a rookie, though. Kinda sad to see him go down like that. You sure can zero in on a bloke's weakness, Tanpa. I'd live for it, gents.
And then it cuts to 255, who's going,
Quality newbies this year. Started to wonder if any would drop out. Only one though. Got to stay sharp, keep chugging.
and they continue down the tunnel, which was going straight, but now it's starting to curve. After all these hours, 60 hours, 6 hours and 80 kilometers. I was thinking 60 kilometers, but we're at 80 kilometers now. 80 kilometers and 6 hours later, now the tunnel is starting to change.
Well now, this is new.
And it cuts to the tunnel, which is now turned into stairs. This has gotten so much worse. I forgot about this. The tunnel was already enough running for 6 hours straight, 80 kilometers, and now the next part of the tunnel is stairs going up. But then Satots goes, "Now then, let's pick up the pace a bit, shall we?" And he just goes up the stairs like it's nothing. Boop, boop, boop. It's as if he's not going upstairs and not even going at an incline. It's like he never left the straight and narrow road. He's just going up and hopping up. He's skipping steps. That's the thing. He's skipping steps. Because where he impacts on this panel is going over 2 whole steps. He's skipping 2 steps. Do you realize how strong you got to be to skip 2 steps? Skipping 1 step on a regular, I've been doing that for the past 15 years in my house. I skip steps all the time. All the time. I've done this every day for the past 15 years. That going up and down steps normally is odd to me. Permanently odd to me. But he's skipping 2! That's a step above 1! And I am not at the stage where I'm skipping 2 steps unless I really have to go up and down. But he's skipping 2! And it's like nothing to him! Check this guy, would ya? Looks like he's just out for a Sunday stroll! And then everyone starts going up the stairs. And that's when they realize that probably lose some on this leg. And then it cuts to Leorio, who is so done with everything. He's sweating bullets all over. He took his shirt off and his jacket and tied his tie behind him so that way he could actually, properly keep himself cool so he doesn't burn up in his suit.
How are you doing, Leorio?
Great! Never better! Found extra steam in the boiler once I stopped giving a fig about how I look. Strip me naked, I'm keeping up. So go ahead and pretend you don't know me if you want. And he's just like, this exam is driving people insane. And then Kurapika goes,
He raises a good point.
and he takes off his coat and we see like the regular little white shirt he has on underneath. And then he keeps up with Leorio and goes,
May I ask you something?
"Save your energy for running, not chit-chat."
Is it really money you're after? I bet not. I've only known you for a few days, and it's true that you're an indiscreet fool.
And Leorio is getting upset again.
But as shallow as you say, I think not. I met people motivated only by money, and they don't show this kind of dedication.
Huh. Fat lot you know. And then Kurapika is quiet, and then he goes,
The Scarlet Eyes. That's why the Kurtas were targeted.
And then Leorio gets real quiet.
The Scarlet Eyes of a special trait of my clan. Our eyes turn a fiery scarlet when our passions are excited.
And then it shows numerous people who have given up and are left strewn across the stairs.
And our irises stay that color when we die in that state. It's regarded as one of the most beautiful colors in the world.
That's why this phantom troop attacked?
Their eyes were stolen from every single body. All of them. Killed for what death creates. So I've sworn to capture the Phantom Troop and recover the eyes of my clan.
And Leorio's quiet.
They've probably already been sold on the black market to wealthy and powerful clients, the kind normal folks can't get within a mile of. But hunters can. A hunter under contract to a rich client can gain plenty of access and information. Contract? Everyone hates those kinds of hunters. They have no pride or honor. They're just dogs out for petty rewards.
And then Kurapika is silent.
My own pride is nothing next to my kinsman's suffering.
And then Leorio gets quiet again and then just says,
Sorry. I'm afraid I don't have such lofty motives, Kurapika. Money is all I'm after.
That's not true! Not everything in this world can be bought, Leorio. You know that!
Ha! Dream on! Everything's got a price. Human life, human hearts, even dreams. There's nothing that isn't for sale.
What a terrible thing to say!
So what? It's a fact! My friend would still be alive if he had the price of his life.
Wow.
My friend would still be alive if he had the price of his life.
And then it's just quiet because Kurapika's surprised.
Was he ill? He could have been cured with surgery, but the cost was obscene. I'm a simple guy. Figured I'd become a doctor so I could cure some kid with the same disease and tell his parents they owed me nothing. Me, a doctor? There's a joke. Do you know how much it costs to even try to become a doctor? The mind boggles! It's always about money. Always! That's why I want it!
And then Kurapika kind of has like a slight smile because now he sees Leorio's true motive. Then we get back to Satots. I was about to say Shotes. Satots, who's up the stairs with the narration of halfway up the stairs, number of dropouts, 37. And the people that are directly behind Satots is Gon and Killua. And then Gon goes,
We're ahead of everybody now.
Yeah, it's a slow pace. Climbing slowly tires you faster.
And then Gon looks over at Killua.
Maybe the whole hunter exam's like this. Maybe the whole hunter exam's like this.
Oh wait, my cadence is wrong.
Maybe the whole hunter's exam's like this. Tedious and boring.
And then it cuts to Gon going,
So, why do you want to be a hunter?
That's the thing, Gon. I don't. I'm just interested in the exam. I heard it was really tough. So far, it ain't.
And then Gon just looks at him.
How about you?
Me? My dad's a hunter, and I want to be just like him.
What's he like?
I don't know.
And then Killua is just looking like, huh?
You're weird, Gon.
And he starts laughing.
Really? I was raised by my aunt since I was a baby. All I ever saw of my dad was a picture. But a few years ago, I met a man named Kite. He knew my dad and told me lots about him.
And then it cuts to Kite talking to him.
The discovery of the Lurka civilization ruins, the establishment of a breeding program for the two-headed wolf, the excavation of the Congo gold vein, the annihilation of the Kute gang of thieves. Gene's hunt is wide and limitless. Gene's hunt is wide and limitless. Gene could be a triple-star hunter, but he hasn't bothered to apply for the classification.
And then it gives the description of Triple Star. Triple Star, the highest class of hunter. There are less than 10 in the world. Requirements include several achievements with global ramifications or historical discoveries of major importance. And then Killua again.
He's that amazing, huh? Kite thinks so. He seems to be prouder of my dad than he was of himself. That's what makes me want to follow in my dad's footsteps.
And while we are traveling up the stairs, we get closer, and there's light. The exit! And then we get Hanzo.
Whew. Can't get out of this tunnel soon enough.
Just a few more steps. Leorio.
Finally!
And then it cuts to Satots, who's up there with Gon and Killua. Mind you, Gon has beads of sweat on his face, but Killua has absolutely none. And then everyone is looking tired, sweating bullets, and they're all going, "Wild, where are we?" Because now we are here in this wide, gigantic, open expanse.
The Milsey Wetlands, also known as the Swindler's Swamp. It comprises the next leg of the first phase. Please note that there are many crafty and voracious creatures unique to these wetlands. They'll trick you in a blink and eat you with relish. Follow me and stay focused. If you are deceived, you are dead.
And that's the last words we get. That's the last words we get from Satots before we end the chapter. And we don't have a special... Well, we do have a special character, but it's not a character of this manga series. That's the end of chapter 7. And the character we get at the end of this chapter is our main heroine from Sailor Moon. Special thanks to Naoko Takeuchi. Takeuchi, she helped me with my color pages. She's a great painter, and her work is gorgeous. Onwards to the last chapter for Volume 1, ladies and gentlemen. Chapter 8, The Other Enemy. And we're here at the Milsey Fields, and everyone's just watching as the wind howls, and it's just a gigantic, miles-long expanse in all directions. Then we get Satots again.
Allow me to reiterate.
Oh, not only that, but since all the applicants are now outside... Leorio being one of the... Oh, wait, no. One applicant makes it to, like, the top of the stairs, but doesn't get all the way in. The doors for the stairs that led here all close. It just folds down and closes. So, yeah, that's one less applicant now.
Allow me to reiterate. The creatures here are wily, and their tricks are endless and deadly. This is not their whim, but the basis of their entire ecosystem. It's why it is called the Swindler's Swamp. Follow me closely and stay focused. If you don't, you're lost.
You're lost. And it shows Gon, Killua, Hisoka, and Hanzo. Then it shows Leorio and Kurapika.
Nice of him to warn us. Can't dupe someone who's on the lookout for tricks.
And then someone goes, "That's a lie! He's lying!" And then someone sneaks out from behind the entrance to this area, and he looks bloodied and beaten, but he's also staggering. "He's an imposter! He's not the examiner! I'm the real examiner!" And this person says this, and he points at Satots, and he's just standing there, and everyone's going, "An imposter? But then who or what is he? I'll show you!" And it shows a creature that looks eerily similar to Satots, but it's like he's one of the wetland creatures, the man-faced ape. And the man-faced ape has a face that looks exactly like Satots. Only the rest is ape-like. And this shocks everybody.
They lust after fresh human flesh, but are too weak of limb to capture prey on their own. So they disguise themselves.
Last chapter, because I feel this one voice getting to my throat a little.
They lust after fresh human flesh, but are too weak of limb to capture prey on their own. So they disguise themselves and lead a crowd of humans to the wetlands where, in cooperation with other creatures, they capture them alive. This time they're out to sweep up the entire hunter applicant pool.
And then, all of a sudden, cards come flying in, and they find themselves embedded in this guy's face. They're not just like cutting a little bit into his face. No, they're going into his face like these cards are made out of super thin sheet metal. They cut straight through the guy, like directly here, across in the in the crease of his nose. It's like this under his eye. That's how far the card went in. Another one's in his forehead, and another one straight into his jaw. He should be dead. He should be dead. Gah! And then he falls over, and then all of a sudden, more cards go flying towards Satots, but he catches all of them within his fingers. And the person who threw these playing cards, one with hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades, is none other than Hisoka. I see. And while he's laying there, the man-faced ape that looked like it was dead twitches and tries to dash away, but then Hisoka throws a card at it and kills it instantly.
That monkey was playing possum.
Now we know. He's the real thing. And then Satots throws away one of the cards that he caught from Hisoka. Examiners are hunters who do this without pay at the request of the judging committee. A simple hunter, which we ourselves aspire to become, would have no trouble dodging my attack. I shall take that as a compliment, but the next attack on me, for any reason, will be grounds for immediate disqualification. Understood? Sure. And everyone's quiet. Then it cuts to birds. It cuts to all these birds that just flock in out of nowhere and pick up the dead body of the guy that Hisoka just killed and pick him up. They all flock around him. They pick him up and they literally start eating this dude while he's airborne. They just start pecking at his body relentlessly. Oh, his body's still on the ground. But they're feasting on his body.
Ugh, the law of the jungle. It's disgusting.
Then we get back to Satots.
Nice ruse, saying I'm an imposter in order to confuse examinees into taking the wrong path. Right into their clutches. That's the sort of life or death deception that makes the swamp the perilous and fascinating place it is. I'm sure many of you were swayed and started having doubts about me.
And it zooms in on both Leorio and Hanzo.
Well, so much for that. To the second phase!
And Satots starts keeping up pace again. 311 examinees remain to head into the Millsy wetlands.
Another blasted marathon.
Running through muck? Running through mud?
Yuck!
And it just shows Satots there just keeping that same pace, you know, that hopping, fast, brisk pace while everyone's trying to keep up with them, despite the fact that they're running through wetlands, which should make things harder. And then fog starts to set in.
Huh? Fog? Gon, let's get in front.
Right. Gotta keep the examiner in sight.
Yeah, and it'll get us away from Hisoka. He's killed and wants to kill again.
Because it shows Hisoka keeping up with Gon and Killua. He's behind them.
The fog will make great cover.
And it shows Hisoka running, and he's licking his lips.
You're wondering how I know. Fact is, I'm like him. I can smell it in him. You're like him? You don't seem so.
Heh. I'm just playing innocent. You'll see.
Yeah?
And then it cuts to Gon going,
Leorio! Kurapika! You guys should get up here! In front!
and then Leorio screaming, "Idiot!"
If we could, we would. No sense of suspense.
Try harder!
Yeah, right! And the fog gets thicker and thicker where no one can tell where everyone is.
Fog's getting thicker.
And then people in front of them start to be, people in front of other examiners start getting so fuzzy that they think that, hey, stay with the shadows ahead. Yeah, don't want to get lost. And then, all of a sudden, they see the shadow of a person in front of them, And then all of a sudden, the head of that person fly off, and they go plop, and it rolls in front of them, and it looks like a very large strawberry.
A strawberry?
As someone's been grabbed by a creature that just popped up out of the ground, with the branches having fruit at the top that look eerily similar to human heads. And there's more screaming off to the side of some examinees.
Those screams! Way out there!
Lost, tricked, gone.
There's no one behind us now.
Huh? Had more than 100 a second ago. And we find out what these creatures are, because they are eating the people who fell for them.
Noggin-luggin tortoise, fog day predator, grows straw man berries on its back to lure in lost people and eat them.
And then some more examinees are running, and then the ground wobbles underneath them. And when they look down, we see the face of a creature with its mouth open wide, while the people are standing in its mouth's open space. And then the ground beneath them crumbles as they fall into this creature's mouth, and they're eaten. These people are just dying left and right.
Frog in waiting, extremely slow moving. It hides itself underground, waiting patiently for prey to pass over its open mouth.
This way! This way! Safe here! Safe!
Ruse raven, croaks lies that lure people into deadly traps, then feeds on their bodies.
Because this raven is flying over a pit trap with spikes in them that some people have already fallen for.
Claymore mushroom, explodes when stepped on, propagates by spreading spores on its immobilized prey.
And it shows the skulls of the people that this claymore mushroom has killed directly next to it. So when these people die, those spores will grow on the body and create more claymore mushrooms. Claymore mushrooms. If that ain't some Plant versus Zombies nonsense.
Hypnosis butterfly, its pattern of flight puts prey to sleep, which makes live food for its larva.
Man, all those screams, it's major chaos out there. The group in back must have gotten lost. They're now being picked off.
I'm an idiot. All my weapons are in my briefcase.
Which Gon happens to have.
Hope Karapika and Leorio are okay.
Gon!
Huh? What?
Don't space out. You've got your own worries.
Yeah.
For instance, the fog's so thick we can barely see the guys ahead of us. If we get separated, that's it. We're swindlers, Chow. If you don't hear your friends scream, figure they're still pumping.
And then it cuts back to numerous people getting cut and skewered by playing cards. But Karapika manages to deflect some cards, while Leorio gets hit in his arm by one. And then we see the eyes. The fog parts enough for us to see all these examinees skewered by playing cards. Leorio still standing, Karapika still standing.
Leorio! Gon! Leorio!
Gon!
Bastard, what are you doing?
Playing examiner. And that is the end of chapter 8, because the one playing examiner is Hisoka. But yeah, that's the end of chapter 8, and that makes it the end of volume 1 of Hunter x Hunter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the beginning of my Hunter x Hunter series for the channel. And for those of you who are wondering, I specifically made this into a podcast playlist, so that way it'll be perfect for you guys to listen to whether you're at work, long trips, or maybe a voice inside of your house at the time. I want to make sure that it covered that completely. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for the first volume. I will catch you all next Thursday as we continue with volume 2. It's gonna be fun, and I can't wait to read all this series has to offer. And seeing as how I got through that in a quick amount of time, in a quick amount of time, I can say that, yeah, covering this entire series is not going to be a problem. It is not going to be a problem at all. But I'm done for today. To Ogata, Mihai, AJ, who else was here? Ravi. Let me see, who else was here? Ghost. Every single person who showed up here today, D-Trained, everyone. I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I can't wait to cover this series, but I'm done for today. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!